radiologists, I explained why were they quick to adopt telemedicine, because they were already using machines. They were already going touching the is, I hope you all have heard about the same minimally invasive surgery or laparoscopic surgeries. There's a art wherein they use those rods, which have the tools at the end, and also they have two rods for one for the light, which light source and illuminate the other is a camera. One rod throws the light, this camera picks the image, are being managed by the surgeon. And looking at the monitor that is up there in front of the surgeon, the monitor is being seen. He doesn't see the patient. He is looking at the patient's inside on the screen. And the same thing they have done is he's looking at the screen, and he's not looking at the patient. So they threw him out of the room and gave him the same screen, same set of equipment, and now do the surgery from a different room. And that is what happened. And they then gradually increased the distance. And now today, in Canada, there is one hospital in Hamilton. They are carrying out telesurgery for removal of gallbladders. The laparoscopic surgeries are performed for such procedures, wherein they insert the rods and remove the gallbladder, because that's a simpler procedure. And they give a choice to the patient to get operated by a surgeon who's 300 miles away, 300 miles, and go and get operated there. They are telling this, gallbladder removal on a daily basis. And many patients who have, that who are tech savvy, they opt for this thing. It makes no difference whether the patient by a surgeon and by the or their understanding is very good and already been doing 10 years. 6 they are sitting and for the 4 years. And the first time telesurgery was done between New York and France. So that was distance. So that was the sort of a telesurgery, wherein a gallbladder of a 67-year-old woman who was moved from New York. So that was the test bed that they had developed. Experience is they have designed a full-fledged, proper routine telesurgery, which is happening there. All this sort of the stuff which is said is going to, I hope. That is how technology is getting more and more interesting and smarter. Another funny development. To come to the patients. Use a telerounder, but it is basically a mobile video conferencing unit. Through the corridors, the doctor is sitting in some other building, maybe at his home or it is in his office. This robot-like stuff. And he's running this entire device with the pipe and a positioning system. So that is what is happening in healthcare, and it is a huge revolution. This is commercially being produced. If in case some of you own some private big hospitals, you can keep doctors at home. They can be replaced, or they can be at least kept aside. Let doctors enter the hospital. So that is what I was talking about. These are the parameters. I hope you are able to read them. These are the parameters: body temperature, pulse oximeter, blood hemoglobin, then heart rate, blood pressure, ECG, then total cholesterol. Then there are some rapid tests like pregnancy, syphilis, HCV, HIV, HBsAg, and there are some blood tests and some urine tests, and then some infectious diseases tests like chikungunya, and malaria, and typhoid, etc. These so many parameters, they are being done by just one device. The entire device is getting, if you see You just have to have one device which enables 31 parameters. 31 parameters, including parameters, pressure, ECG, and SpO2. Those are sensed with the help of this machine. And the screen of this machine, being able to pick tab. And this tab already has a display. It already works on Android applications because tabs work quite like smartphones. And it already has a Wi-Fi connectivity. Is being used as the device which will enable the connectivity, which will have the apps and only the smaller modules of hardware which are placed below this device, and they sense the signals and they display them, and the Wi-Fi connectivity throws the information wherever the so that is what is happening as far as is concerned on the healthcare peripheral side or the medical instrumentation side. That we also have smartphones which are getting empowered. Rather, they are empowering the users on themselves, all by themselves. So they don't have to go to the laboratory for getting tests done. They just have a module which gets fixed smartphone, and you just prick your finger and touch it there. You get the result right away, and it gets stored in the app, and you can get a trend. As you see, you have those glucometers which you can at home even today. I mean, you get a reading. It doesn't help you any further. You just have to note it down, or you have to feed it into the computer. But these systems, these mobiles, they enable everything. They manage information. They bring out the various reporting structure, etc. So that is all what is happening. You have wearable sensors. The patients are given this, chronically ill patients or elderly patients, they are given this, and they are asked to go home, and from the home itself, through these devices, the inputs are getting sourced. And there are some challenges as far as what we talked about was all about mobile health or smart health solutions. There are certain challenges. These challenges are that operating systems are not numerous, at least more than a couple of them, which are in the market, and every phone uses one of those. Having a mobile app and that runs on Apple phone. Whatever you have to have the same solutions. We also have formats. You have a solution which has another OS, whichever exists in whatever form, and then the speed of the platform change. Very soon the mobile operating systems are changing rapidly. They're changing so fast that it becomes at times a bit for the people who are basing their developments on these apps. So on these mobile OS, mobile computing OS. So that is how you have to take care of those things and address those aspects. Designing such a big system dependent on that particular version of the OS. It has to be some sort of open-ended system. There is data liberation. The same user at times when you are using mobile phone, you are also using laptop, you're also using a tab. Then the data, at times it becomes a challenge for you to manage data. So that is another aspect which you have to take in before you start designing or working or conceptualizing to be as smart as those things. And as far as standards are concerned, in the healthcare domain, the standards are there for what we are doing. But the thing is, adoption of those standards is not too encouraging. For example, when you design a system, it could be the components which show up, and when you are using that system or you are designing a system, because doctor will use clinical or medical terminologies, and the medical terminologies which are at times are quite regional, quite local. To sort of make a system which is universally acceptable or universally usable, you have to depend on the international coding systems and terminologies. So there are standards which codify the entire terminology, or which the medical terms and make universal. You have some sort of standards which enable exchange of information from one end to another end. And those are the standards like HL7. It enables messaging between the systems. With DICOM, digital imaging and communication in medicine, it enables the entire radiological applications or imaging modalities. For example, if you do a CT scan on a CT scan which is manufactured by Siemens, the output of that CT scan in a software which is designed by Philips. Quite like you're clicking a photograph on Samsung, you can view that photograph on an iPhone as well. Why? Because there are standards playing between the radiological applications in these digital imaging modalities. If it is complying with the DICOM standards, anywhere, wherever you would open it, any of those software designed and developed by some other company. And then security and privacy issues are still there. They are being, and now the bigger challenges which the telemedicine is facing are reimbursement. Because of reimbursement means the foreign doctor would provide some consultation, and there has to be some payment to that doctor. This in this age is not an issue, but then there are certain organizational challenges which have to be overcome before we address this reimbursement thing, and that is why whichever telemedicine which we have implemented in India, that is quite organizational. I mean, in one state, because the owner or the delivery system is one agency, all the hospitals belong to that agency, so we design a network with organizational boundaries. So telemedicine as of now, and there are issues with the law as well at times. We design systems which are meant for a single organization. We don't cross the organizational boundaries as of now. Orders which are coming up. In India there is a company that systems has been awarded numerous times. And what does this company do? They have developed a teleradiology system. And this guy, he was earlier a doctor from Bangalore, south of India, working in the US. And back in India, after practicing, he learned quality that the hospital and the and he set up a teleradiology center in his he opened a teleradiology center wherein the radiologists who were certified radiologists in the US. He asked them to take a test, get certified, and then he had them in his company. And all the day, what they would do, they would get X-rays and CT scans or the radiographs sent from the US, and they will be interpreted by these doctors at 1/10 the cost. For the hospital, just 10% what they pay to a radiologist in their hospital. That is what I was telling. A radiologist has no business is coming from the same hospital or is flying in from maybe another continent. That particular clinician or a doctor, he's been awarded numerous times by the government, not only the Indian government, even by the American government. Such a big show it was. There were special talks about him when India and the members of US sat for some sort of cooperation at the industrial level. They talked about such services opened up so that the healthcare gets more affordable there in the US, and this is happening. And he is not only now limited to Australia and US, he's also providing these services to hospitals in Singapore, and the same is happening. And similarly, such services in Africa as well. It is purely untouched, and these technologies can do something in this continent. And of course, there are certain issues with the standards. We don't have standards. That is why the telemedicine is slow. And then not really evaluated, or they have not designed the evaluation mechanism to understand that if we invest $1 million US, what is the return? level at which the telemedicine system works. So that is what in a way is happening. First, preparing the evaluation mechanisms or evaluation approaches so that whenever a telemedicine system is to be sold to a third party, we are able to tell them that this is the business model, and in this much time will you get the return on investment that you are making for enabling this kind of a telemedicine network. Sustainability, of course, is an issue when the telemedicine systems are deployed by the government. What we did here to address this sustainability was we implemented telemedicine and we left it for the doctors to use it, and none of the doctors used it, and it was used only for the time we were looking after the telemedicine system. Doctors see this is how it is done, and we used to prepare a case and send it to the other end. And on the other end also, our team member would sit and he would then tell the doctor there, and he would send back the opinion. And as soon as we walked out of the hospitals, the telemedicine just died. I mean, nobody was used for playing games, or so they were not being used. So then, if your administrators, the some telemedicine or the doctor, because they cannot come and switch on the system and wait for anything from sitting idle. So they feel that they were getting underutilized. A telemedicine operator who could be someone with a diploma in electrical engineering or something of that sort, who understands the use of computer and also understands to some extent the telemedicine terminology or the way it is used and what are the best practices. And like this, wherever we are implementing telemedicine, so that is the best practice that we have learned out of experience, that we place a telemedicine operator as well, and we ensure that the telemedicine operator is strong guy. Telemedicine systems efficiency, usage, operation would depend on that person. So that is why we ensure that the good telemedicine operator is also deployed there. Okay, yeah, I'll just wind up with me. I'm maybe having just a couple of slides. Other challenges, we talked about the costs, we also talked about the effort. This is important. That change is very difficult, and many just wants not to change. And to do that, you have to handhold doctors to do whatever they want to just make them use telemedicine. You just give me a printout, and I will, while doing my work here or while sitting at the while having a look at the patients in the OPD, you get me the printout. I'll see here, and I'll tell you. You write down and go and the other end. So that's what we have to do for the doctors. And doctors would not come to the room, or they would not come to the telemedicine center, and we have to ask him what he needs, so that we send back this opinion at the earliest, so that the patient gets the advice from the specialist. So that is the effort which we have to put in at times. The doctor feels that there is a lot of value and this is something good, and I must try to learn and the computer rather than sitting and looking at the then there is some sort of skill involved. These days are okay with IT because they all are using smartphones, and then when you are designing a telemedicine system, often we have seen that doctors don't like to use keyboard because they don't know typing, and keyboard entry is a slow mechanism to feed information. When we design system, we make it driven. They just use mouse to click, and the drop down menu comes up. They just select, or they just check the boxes. One learning we've got while working with doctors, that the system has to have least amount of keyboard entry. It has to be just the mouse which will enable that. And I'm sure with thanks to soon mouse and keyboard would be invisible, and will be just enabled or voice operated, then we would not have that issue. And I think this is speech to text developments or technologies rapidly gaining grounds of that. And then there are certain aspects that at times when you are designing a bigger system, to know that there are two telemedicine projects in the country which are operational or which are in the pipeline, and then there is a bigger information system oriented healthcare information system or hospital information system type of in the pipeline. So then when these two systems come up, to talk to this telemedicine system. So in that scenario, when you see lots of IT development happening in the domain of healthcare, then you need to actually part. But till you don't see something which is happening, you are just one of your kind, or you are a pioneer telemedicine, or wanting doctors to use telemedicine and have some instance of telemedicine, or are trying to plug one of the healthcare issues that there are no specialists 500 kilometers away from a specialist, or have that specialist services available there, good standards to start with. In the same way, for 10 years we had no standards, or rather 15 years. It is now that we have started adopting standards. So standards should not for you not work. You can try, and it comes up when the situation kind of redesign or tune your systems to talk to standards or talk the language which the standards want them to. Right? That is what, and I think that is not a bad approach to start without bothering about standards, because standards would pose their own challenge, at least. So already there is a challenge for us to a telemedicine system, but then if you have to kickstart a telemedicine system which pertains to, which belongs to, which complies to standards, you will also have to learn standards, which in itself is a big task. So you have to have a trade-off, that whether you want a system which is usable and which is quick, or you want a system which is universally acceptable. It will take time. It may take a number of years by the time that kind of system. So that is it I was talking about, and some of the publications those I have, they are available at this link. You can download, and you can have a look at these publications and queries, etc. Approach Dr. Mohammed or Dr. And I can also be approached. We can easily facilitate redressal of your queries, and we'll be very happy to see queries when you get them, because that is the first step, and we certainly would not stay away from you through those initial difficult phases or challenging. Thank you so much for all the patients sitting together, sitting all through.
For the very useful speech, we really appreciate it. Dear ladies and gentlemen, to resume our session, please welcome with me Dr. Shaima Mohammed Asman Sarwar. Has MBBS from Khartoum University, Diploma of Molecular Biology, Master of Medical Biochemistry. She got special training of telemedicine and medical and the supervision of Dr. Masood. Research interest on computational system biology. Welcome, Dr. Shaima. Present you my experience in the training of telemedicine and informatics. or you are a physical engineer,